At home when you're safe and sound. I wish time would stop like suspended animation.
picture in my mind. You wanna leave it all behind. In a world that's turning all the time, nothing could stop me longing for your eyes. I won't let it die. I can feel you when you're not around. When the night gets cold, I won't be alone. We won't be This lake of fire burns my skin. How could love wear so thin? I'm sinking in the hollow ground. Nothing can stop me wanting you somehow. I won't let it die. I can feel you when you're not around. When the night gets cold, I won't be alone. We won't be time to call it an end. The road of lust and pretend. It's all we had and all we lost. Let it go, let it go, let it go at all cost. Time to call it quits.
Hello, good evening, and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Let me be the first to welcome you to the Overwatch Watchers Brawl version 5. I'm 3.007. We've got a great tournament ahead of us today. I'm joined by Sir Waltham, and boy, am I glad to have us here.
Yeah, very excited to be back for our, oh goodness, I'm gonna have to start breaking out the math again. 5th tournament here at the Watchers Brawl. It's definitely been a long road, but I'm definitely excited to see the new teams coming out. A couple familiar teams, a couple familiar names and faces, but a lot of new talent going to be coming into the tournament with us. Also new, is going to be the cash prize this time around for the first, second, and third place winners. Something to definitely be looking forward to. But got to focus on what's immediately in front of us. Citizens versus Blurry's Money Crew.
This is going to be a fantastic way to start the match off. I want to state for the record that pretty much every team joining the tournament this time around is absolutely fantastic. Just on paper, they're looking very good, very exciting. I'm going to enjoy watching them play. And to kick us off, though, we're also going to give us that usual pregame interview.
Yes, today I'm going to be sitting down with the owner for the team, Citizens, Pleb. Pleb, you want to go and say hello?
Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Pleb. I'm the owner of Citizens Esports, and yeah.
Fantastic. Now, a lot of the times we get team captains, IGLs in here for the pregame interview, but we don't always get a whole lot of owners stepping in right out of the bat. So I'd like to just kind of ask you a couple questions. What's it like kind of running the esports team like you do?
It's been a rather exciting experience altogether. You know, we started out as a smaller team back when I used to play Overwatch, and it's kind of evolved into this brand new, this brand new organization, this brand new process. We have a lot of great people, a lot of great players, staff, everyone on board, and overall, it's just been this really new and welcoming experience, and I'm really excited to see where it goes in the future.
Absolutely. Well, speaking of welcoming, certainly hope you're feeling welcome here at the Watchers Brawl, but moving forward, have there been any kind of particular challenges when it comes to setting up a team or finding tournaments, organizations, games to play in, anything along those lines?
Of course, you're always going to run into like the standard hiccups when approaching, player, staff, and stuff like that. A lot of it comes down to dedication and how much time could be put forth to a certain team or a certain tournament and stuff like that. Citizens got really lucky. We have a great roster of players. Everybody is putting in a lot of effort and grinding their asses off. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, but they're grinding really hard. I'm super proud of them. They've been through a lot in the past couple months with Open Division and everything like that, and I think we have a really solid crew.
It's fantastic, and we were talking about it a little bit beforehand. You said you guys had gotten to the second round of playoffs in Open Division?
Second round of playoffs, yep. 7th place we ended up finishing.
Wow, that's some pretty high caliber talent there. I definitely look forward to seeing your team in action. Do you have any parting words before we go ahead and send the teams off to battle?
Some of these teams that we've seen before, some of them we haven't, some of them we scrimmed in the past. I just want to say, I'm wishing everybody great games, good luck, and have fun, everybody. And let's get some tournaments going on.
Fantastic. I'm exactly in that same boat with you. Some fantastic sportsmanship coming out from the side of Pleb. Pleb, thank you very much for coming in and answering a few questions for us.
Absolutely, guys. Thanks for having me.
Best of luck out there.
You as well.
Now, Freak, we are going to be starting at Hanamura, the classic assault map. How do you feel about it?
Hanamura is a fantastic little place to start the tournament off, I think, so to speak. Mostly because, in my opinion, there's a high possibility of seeing comps that are a little bit more non-standard, a little bit crazier. You can get away with a lot on Hanamura, especially on that first point defense, so it'll be super interesting to see what these teams come out with, whom we've literally never seen before in action. What are they going to do? It's all very exciting, and Hanamura at least is going to afford them the opportunity to strut their stuff.
Yeah, and one thing that I like more so about this map type, the Hanamura, more so than maybe any of the other map types, is that, there are certain maps that are definitely GOATs favorable. And a lot of teams kind of use GOATs as, I don't want to say a crutch, but a crutch, just because it requires less mechanical skill and it's more of a team-based composition. But that being said, when you have a map that's not so GOATs friendly, if you have a team that's not inclined to run that, you're going to see it. So on King's Row, we still might see a classic triple-triple, but on Hanamura, it's not so certain. Although, sometimes we do see the May come out. I always talk about it. It hasn't been happening so much lately. I'm a little bit disappointed in that, but it's still definitely a solid strategy here. Getting that section off, create a lot of space.
Yeah, and that's not even to mention the coveted Pharah play that we both so love seeing. Ooh. And I agree. Some of the people that I watch Overwatch League with, they like to say, this is all very exciting and all, and it's clear that the coordination on display is very clutch. But what I also love to see is that kind of mechanical skill coupled with that coordination and cooperation, so to speak. Call me the man who wants it all, and not willing to compromise, yada yada. But there it is. So, as a reminder to everyone, you should be seeing up there on your little overlay there, we have Citizens and we have Blurry's Money Crew. Blurry's Money Crew going to be starting on the attack, but Citizens looks like their defense is all set up, and it's going to be the 3-3 with the Ana variant. So, fortunately for them so far, looks like there's no Diva to nom those grenades, so that might actually work out pretty well for them.
Yeah, also worth noting, they're using a Winston instead of a Reinhardt. A lot of times we see the Reinhardt here to hold these hard chokes, but also of note, Gotham going to be on this May, potentially with the Sim Telly drop as well. Going to be looking for some quick relocations with that composition.
I think I know what they're going for. I think the May wall is going to defend the teleport, rather defend their point on the point as soon as it happens, but no, instead, Salieri is going to be starting the game off after Neon rips apart Zenyatta. Abilities goes down way too quickly, and woo, Citizens is looking real spicy on this defense.
Yeah, that was a very blistering burn down of Blurry's Money Crew there. That was just a furious
Nice.
defense coming through from Citizens, and I mean, we're looking at the ult charges right now. It didn't drag on for too long, so neither team has a whole lot of ult charge. It's looking a little bit more even on Blurry's Money Crew, though. Default still lacking a little bit of charge.
Yeah, gonna show Delete Brig, though, already with a 44%, but wow, Marshy goes down very quickly. The first through the teleporter is the first to get shield bashed by Neon. Camboyo gonna find Delete Brig. No more special ult charge for you. Default's gonna pick up that race, so to speak, and wow, Citizens is now starting to make very short work of Blurry's Money Crew.
Yeah, and one thing that Blurry's Money Crew are going to have to keep an eye out for is that immense staying power that's going to be coming through from the Primal Rage coming through from Salieri. Brig will have to go through the pronunciations for that for me. I'm not too knowledgeable when it comes to those kinds of fancy names.
So to say it, but you seem to be doing just all right. But and speaking of which, Salieri is going to be grabbing some more kills there, sitting on a Primal Rage now. Poor May, God just cannot catch a break. Still hasn't built up to his ult. This hammer down has come out from Sokotoa into what looked to be a lost fight. So I can only assume that they're going to be grabbing a little bit of that switcheroo there.
Yeah, and I'm really surprised they're still running the sim, given the level of aggression that Citizens are showing. They're not even letting them get the teleport down and get everybody through the machine before they just start tearing apart the enemy. And I'm really kind of liking this creative positioning from the Citizens.
Yeah, and there's the early grab. Whatever Blurry's Money Crew wanted to do with this push is, yeah, that's done. Delete Brig is down, and they say that the Zarya that falls first drags their team down with them, and it looks like that's definitely the case, as Rack Attack finishes off that team fight with a nice little nade.
Yeah, and I mean, really, again, you said it, Rack Attack not really going to have much to contend with. There wasn't a Diva, McConquer now going to be switching, and they're switching and giving up a lot of ults for this, so they're looking like they're going to a little bit more conventional 3-3 just to get back into the fight and be a little bit more even keel.
It is interesting, though, because they were actually in a position that might have been enough to get them onto the point with the ultimates that they had. Instead, barriers is going to be what has to lead this charge, but Marshy 76 going down early means that, again, this team fight is going to be crippled, and the push is done before it can even get started. A DMEC on the McConquer also means that Salieri, who has his Primal Rage out and ready to rock, is just going to tear through the rest of the team. Only a minute left. How can Blurry's get through here?
It's going to be very tough, and they're honestly looking like they're going to have to kind of match the intensity of Citizens right now, because there's not a whole lot that they can really do to kind of damage this very divey comp. Default is one of the lower charging members, as we've seen, but that's because the Zarya doesn't have the ability to get in and do as much punch damage as the rest of the comp.
Yeah, and I super love that Diva Bomb placement. Gottman can't get away. Purple finds it. Default grabs Marshy again, grabbing that ult charge wherever they can. 30 seconds remaining has been called by Athena. Camboyo contributes his barriers to the fight, and it looks like it's going to be a nano grab, with possibly Salieri having the benefit of it to get his Primal Rage going in. Ooh, very late stagger. Nasty.
Yeah, that is going to be costly for Blurry's Money Crew. You do not like to see that. And, I mean, a lot of switches have been coming through. McConquer are going to be swapping back onto the Wrecking Ball. I believe we saw it a little bit. And it's just not going to be enough, it seems.
And the timer is down. Can anyone make it? Yes, overtime has been called. The grab is on the point, though. McConker is going to fall very early, despite the barriers getting thrown out by abilities, who also goes down pretty quickly. Sokotoa has an extra 1,000 health now to play with, but he's also not going to be living too long. Gottman has literal enlightenment protecting him, so he's also going to be staying up a little longer. But Citizens seems to be making short work of the members of Blurry's money crew on the point. I think the ship has sailed. I think we're done here. Full hold from Citizens once these last few stragglers get handled up.
Yeah, and this is kind of a fascinating thing that Citizens are kind of already alluding to with their team comp. They're showing that they're very proficient in the dive. They're not running a strict dive composition here, but we can see that they are very good at seeing their opportunities, pouncing them as soon as possible, and then once the team fight kind of crumbles for Blurry's money crew, they just absolutely clean up. And in this kind of a situation, you absolutely need to do that. There wasn't a whole lot of maneuverability with the Mei and the Sim once the teleporters pretty much got collapsed upon. So you kind of really have to take that to your advantage.
That's a super neat way to put it. You know, I was kind of thinking the same thing. Couldn't put a word to it. Dive is exactly what Citizens was doing there. The first kill would come in, and then everyone would start collapsing on their preferred targets. The coordination was really solid, and it's not that there was like a quote-unquote lack of target focus, because the kill feed was certainly piling on. And I think maybe that's just it. Salieri's cleave damage was just so incredible that they have the ability to do damage to multiple targets and not make it be a waste like we see so often. However, on the offense, listen, guys, I've been fooled before. I've been debated. This is back Overwatch Watchers Brawl Season 5, but 3.007 is no stranger to the debate. However, on defense, though, boy, am I liking what I'm seeing.
Yeah, it's pretty much the only leg that Blurry Money Crew is going to have to stand on here. They need to kind of wager it all onto the bunker-style comp. A lot of times this is a very risky maneuver, because if you give up first point, you're going to have to switch off a lot of heroes a lot of the time. But in this case, you don't even have room to give up all of first, so it's kind of a sunk cost.
Ooh, and the Hanzo Sonic Arrow has picked out abilities immediately. They should know exactly what they're going for. And yes, they are switching off of some of this little bit of the damage. Purple's going to grab that Sombra, coincidentally enough. But they're sticking with this heavy damage comp, and I super love it. They're going to be running into a literal brick wall.
Yeah, and there's a lot of angles to attack with this, and Neon getting the first kill going to be very crucial there.
That was amazing. McConker goes down, a little health pool, Neon finds it, and so the presence on the point has been established, and it's already a 6v5. So how Blurry's money crew reacts to this is going to be huge in the next few minutes, because it's only a tick from Citizens that's needed.
Yeah, it's going to be very hard for the rotations to keep coming through from Blurry's money crew, because we're seeing it's just the Mei trying to maintain presence on point.
And she does it! Gottman gets the kill on default. Really solid option. Mei is the she, by the way, not Gottman. And Rack Attack is going to pick up a Conquer, but we're looking like a solid setup defense right now.
Yeah, right now it's looking like they're not getting punished too much for it, and Neon going to be dropping at the very end there. But the swap onto McConker from that Sim, it's not too surprising. The Sim largely just there to get the Bastion onto the high ground, but a big hack coming through.
Yeah, Purple's starting to build up to that EMP, and with 2 minutes 40 left, I think we all know what's going to happen in that regard. But the ults coming online for Blurry's money crew are also nothing to scoff at. Neon switching over to the Hanzo, by the way, possibly trying to get back some of that nice bursty damage against that shield. But a Doofus is going to have some words with him. Fist words.
Fist words indeed. And that's exactly. I saw that targeting come through from Delete Brig, just focusing down onto Rack Attack. You talk about hit scan, that's big. That's a big hack.
But after the hack goes in, the immortality field is still there, but Salieri still gets the kills with his ult, finding Mercy. Mercy is gone. Delete Brig follows. This is going to be it. Citizens just busted the point wide open. The spawn is way too far away. It's only a tick. There's 3 on the point. We've seen our first map, and what a way to start Overwatch Watchers Brawl Season 5.
Taking a few more seconds coming through from Citizens to actually get that last tick. People leaving the point preemptively, perhaps, but yeah, that was really smartly played by Citizens. They knew that they just had to get 1 tick. They could just basically brute force their way through a couple team fights, build up the ultimates they needed to, and seeing something like the Bastion come through is not unexpected when you have an opponent that is basically having to do a desperation hold.
Yes.
And yeah, so just piling those ults and kind of comboing them to get 1 solid push that you can get a tick on makes a lot of sense.
Yep. Speaking of the solid performance from Citizens and a valiant hold by Blurry's Money Crew, if you see a player that you're liking, don't forget to grab that Twitch poll below the stream. Just scroll right on down there, pick your favorite player. We're only one match in though, so maybe you want to withhold your option, see what the rest of the team has to offer. Hanamura only had a match time of about 6 minutes and 50 seconds roughly, so maybe you want to see what Blurry's Money Crew have to offer. In the meantime, however, we're going to start working on one of my favorite features of this tournament.
Yeah, certainly. That's going to be the map and hero bans. It will be on Citizens to ban the next coming map. For this season, the map pools we do have are on the Assault end of things, Hanamura, which we just saw, Temple of Anubis, as well as one of the new additions going to be Paris this time around. So I'm hoping we're going to be, me and 3 for talking, we're hoping we're going to be seeing some of that. I think it's very exciting. One of the newer maps, definitely some potential there, I think.
Yeah, speaking of the bunker that we just saw come out from Blurry's Money Crew, or BMC as they have been abbreviated in this nice little lobby, Paris is also one of those kind of maps, right? You get a lot of that just hunkering down with Orisa and the Baptiste, or I think Baptiste is the caster preferred pronunciation because it gives you a little more time to move on to the next word. Rambling. So there you go, though. So yeah, Paris, I would super like to see that. I'd like to see how teams bust through bunkers, especially having experienced them a lot in my own playtime.
Yeah, and it's certainly seeming like it's going to continue to be a possibility here as the ban comes through for Oasis, meaning that Blurry's Money Crew are going to be selecting the next map. They're saying that they want to go on to Lijiang, so we're going to be probably seeing that come up here in just a short moment. And we also will have the hero bans as well coming through. No word yet on the saves or bans. Just as a reminder to folks at home, when a hero gets banned, it gets banned for both sides. Definitely some mind games that can go on there with the dual bans.
Yeah, we've seen some pretty crazy mind games come out from a bunch of teams. I'm going to give a shout out to the old tournament champions, Aptix Esports. They had a bit of a fun time messing with other teams, picking their bans and whatnot, and it clearly worked out for them. In this particular instance, though, I am genuinely curious how this one's going to go. It also looks like Citizens has lost a player. I'm not sure if they intend to bring in a sub or not, but in any event, that is going to possibly impact what hero comes out that they save. Given that they're going to Lijiang Tower, I'm actually kind of surprised that Blurry picked this. We haven't seen a lot from these teams so far. Literally, we've only seen about 7 minutes of Overwatch. But Citizens has already shown a willingness to play the damage forward comps. And Lijiang Tower has a couple maps in particular that are very friendly for that.
Yeah, and it's interesting because you look at Citizens and you say, okay, well, what have they run? Well, they've run the triple-triple. That's fine. But within the triple-triple, as we discussed in, during Hanamura, they kind of ran a dive variant, so they also showed a little bit of comfort with the dive. And then they also showed a very DPS-heavy comp. The only thing we really haven't seen them run is that bunker style. And, I mean, that's a big question mark. If you're Blurry's Money Crew, do you want to take that chance and run something like Paris? It's a little bit in the dark for that team. And Lijiang Tower at least gives you enough variety to kind of whittle down what they're more or less comfortable with.
Yeah, and yes, Control Center. The one with the big freaking satellite control thingy. The 3-3 there is very so. Lucio ban! There it is! Oh, the glove is down. There it is. If there is a 3-3 matchup happening without a Lucio, man, I don't even know what you do. It's like banning Brigitte.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting. We might see something along the lines in the terms of support. Moira, Brig, Ana, Moira, Brig, Zen. Moira's still going to have that big radial healing, so not the single target healing that we see a lot. And it's basically swapping the utility of the Lucio for more healing, but since you wouldn't be able to take the Lucio anyway, it's a little bit iffy. But I'm definitely going to be curious to see how these teams play around not having the speedster himself.
Yeah, now with Citizens leading the series 1-0 over Blurry's Money Crew, we're going to be starting out on Night Market, and based on what we've seen so far, the very limited, it looks like someone may not have noticed that the ban goes in for both teams, as it has come out that maybe Blurry's Money Crew wasn't quite expecting that. However, I'm sure they are more than capable of handling this. On Night Market especially, this is also one of those, maybe a little more non-3-3 friendly maps.
Yeah, and really, there's kind of a little bit of variety which you can run here. A lot of well, I've seen Hammond a few times run here. Which, speaking of Hammond, Salieri going to be looking like they may be pondering that at the time being. Of course, the Ryan Zarya is still a good option since there's going to be a lot of brawling on point, which is I think the case in a lot of King of the Hill maps. But there's also the concept of just run it like a deathmatch type scenario. And right now, it definitely seems like Citizen's not going to have a problem with that.
Yes, I love it. So here's the thing. Lucio is banned. They're playing a lot of super fast heroes. Pharah is going to be on the point. Sombra's on the point. Hammond, Widowmaker, Mercy, of course, gets the taxi bonus. They're way faster in this particular setup than the other team is. And immediately, Neon sets up, picks McConqueror out like their head was just begging to be shot off their shoulders. Oh no, Salieri!
Yeah, this is already looking to be some great play. Because, you think about it, if the enemy team's going to be running a very fast comp and you just perhaps can't match that, Mei is one of the better units to pick. She has the ability to not only slow down people with her primary, but also section off areas. So if a Tracer spends an entire, 5 seconds trying to find a flank and it gets cut off immediately, she has to go back that 5 seconds. Valuable pick that I think they're going to be switching anyway for the Pharah.
Yeah, that's oof. But there it is, though. They are going to have their work cut out for them. Yep, Salieri finds Delete Break immediately. So much for the Widow duel that I was looking so forward to seeing. Instead, we're going to see... Oh, no, Marshy rested. Okay, cool. Marshy76 brings Delete Break back online. Sokotoa is now actually going after Neon. And they're going to be doing a pretty good job of it, though they are forced to retreat. Gotham picks up the kill, however. Gets Venom Mined and purpled for his duty. Now we're seeing the back and forth. Now we're doing it.
Yeah, now the back and forth is still going to be going a little bit in favor of Citizens, quite in the favor of Citizens, as it turns out. And right now, the hacks are just seeming really valuable. Purple got hacks on top. Got him, I believe it was Sokotoa as well. And really just being a nuisance, making those characters really lack those abilities can be so crucial to just disabling the quad DPS comp style.
Yeah, that was some crazy action. Tracer forcing McConqueror out into the open so Neon can get the finishing blow. The Hammond rolls over the corpse as kind of like a how do you do. With 62% on Citizen's percentage bank, it's looking pretty grim as Neon, again, takes the head off of Delete Break in the duel with a big 6 showing. Ability's actually going to be switching over to McCree.
Yeah, one thing I'm really liking and also kind of wary about for BMC is that they're switching a lot. They are not afraid to switch, but it's also costing them a lot in terms of ults and momentum. So you're gonna have to keep an eye out, see if that's going to be too imperative to them in the future. But right now, they just need to worry about getting their foot out the door.
Yeah, looking at abilities playing on the McCree, but no, there it is. Rack Attack brings the smack with a barrage, and it's huge. Oh, there's the big EMP! Abilities actually grabs purple before they can get away, but it's too many kills for Citizens to really change anything. And with 100%, 0 to 100, we're going on to the second round of Legion.
Yeah, that was just some great coordination play. I think there were points where we saw pretty much every member of Team Citizens really shine through there. We saw some good Pharah barrages. The Hammond play that got 2 boops right out of the gate. Purple got some massive value hacks. Neon definitely showing some Widow competency against Delete Brig. So overall, I don't think there's too much you can be disappointed about if you're looking at the team of Citizens. And again, we haven't really seen Blurry's Money Crew be too consistent enough or stay on the heroes enough to really get a good feel, a good idea of where they really stand.
Yeah, it looks like they have some proficiency on that damage forward comp, which they are going to be sticking with, going up against what looks like a attempt at a bunker from Citizens. They're probably going to try and get that Orisa and the Bastion set up as quickly as possible so Batiste can keep them all alive and happy with... wow, Sokotoa blazing fast to the point, and Blurry stakes their stand very quickly.
Yeah, an interesting thing here, we're now going to be seeing Blurry Money Crew running a faster comp, meaning that they really could try to pressure this bunker comp from getting set up into position first. They're not going to take the opportunity, though.
Yeah, 1 shield means Orisa is going to be the only one there, keeping that Bastion safe, despite the quantity of healing coming in, and that actually is going to be enough. Default finds Gotham, abilities goes down next, and yeah, there it is. So, ooh, and there Orisa is the one to rotate, so Citizens even manages to stop the point take from Blurry, as Camboyo finishes off with that little 3-shot shooter from Batiste, and that's going to be a take for Citizens as they start the full court press.
Yeah, and that's going to kind of be a little preview as to what the biggest obstacle for Citizens is going to be here. They're going to have to make sure they maintain point presence, which is going to be very hard if they don't want to have to uproot the Bastion or the Orisa As well, you typically want to keep the Baptiste centered around as well.
Oh, the Conqueror goes for a sneaky hack, but he gets forced away. That was close. If that had been able to get off, that would have been enormous. Instead, Bastion, who was the intended target, gets to continue flashing his big, enormous cannons just all day, every day. Can't even handle it. Sokotoa is the one to face that fury. Marshy76 goes down immediately after. No mercy means no reses. Thank you very much.
Yeah, and I'd like to point out, one of the things we tend to overlook when it comes to these higher level players is the coordination that it takes for something as straightforward as this comp coming through from Citizens. We can see that when Salieri puts out those mini grabs, those Orisa pulls, default locks on to wherever those pulls are going and immediately shreds whoever happens to get clutched by it. We saw it happen with Marshy. I believe we saw it happen with Sokotoa, and it's just been brutal. And you love to see that coordination. It really shows the minutia of this team working really well together.
Yet my other favorite thing, too, is them constantly scanning for McConqueror. Sombra, Rack Attack knows they're there, but there it is! Oh, boom! Sokotoa gets some revenge. The Hammond Wrecking Ball kills. Salieri Default both fly off the map, unable to do anything in response. Marshy76 not looking good. They're going to Guardian Angel to get themselves out of that particular tight spot. And there it is, McConqueror's EMP. Delete Break follows it up. This is it. Blurry is on the field, and the kill feed is finally looking red for them as they are going to retake this control point.
Yeah, well done by Blurry's Money Crew. I'm not trying to take anything away from that, but that was an expensive fight to win. They had to invest, I believe it was 5 ultimates just to get that, as well a massive boop from Sokotoa. So really, they're only going to have the mines to work with, and it's looking like we're going to see some teams comp swap ups come through from Citizens. No longer going to be running the Bastion Orisa style, but Purple on this Hog might help them regain those ults if he's not careful.
Uh-oh, but a hack onto Purple means Hog is 600 HP worth of ult charge. He does get out of there thanks to the healing, and Default even picks up Sokotoa on the way as this to get, just a little bit of that revenge for really sick Hammond play. So now, and McConqueror getting pinned by Salieri. Unfortunate, so there's the retake, and this is going to be a bad situation for Blurry, who have to either wrap this fight up very quickly or get their spawns back.
Yeah, it's going to be kind of a respawn game here, but with Marshy dropping, there's no chance for a res, and it's not looking great for this side of BMC.
You know, when you see charge kills coming in from a Reinhardt and getting more than a single hero, that's the kind of situation where you say, all right, you know what, fine, fine. Camboyo, a little more of the damage than the healer there as he picks up 2. And, here goes Delete Break. Do they have a chance to come back here? No. Neon's defense matrix says no to that ult, and now we're in a very dangerous overtime situation for Blurry, but abilities gets Rack Attack!
Yeah, that is value, but they will not be able to follow up on it. It's almost going to be possible for the Genji to come on the point, but not quite. And really, you know, that Tac Visor had so much potential. It was just Neon so quick at shutting it down with that massive Diva Matrix. Salieri getting the big Hammond boops, I imagine.
I'm sorry, but for the viewers who may not get to view what we just got to view, Salieri has the victory highlight reel chosen of the dramatic squirrel. Now, unfortunately, some of you might actually be too young to know what dramatic look is. 4 environmental kills total for Salieri, earning his not MVP highlight receive. Speaking of MVP, though,
definitely don't forget to vote. Always got to plug it. We always got to make sure you guys are telling us what's what. So show us what you're seeing out there. We're running on completely separate cameras, so. You know, we definitely got to see what the people are seeing, hear what they're hearing, and we got to get told how we're wrong, because it never fails. It never fails.
I mean, well, yes, so are the casters. Like, anything the casters say is just inherently untrue. I've seen it. Like, yeah, it doesn't matter how professional or how much money. It doesn't matter. If you're a caster, you're wrong. And, like, it's fine.
It's all right.
That's just life, right? Also, since I said that as a caster, that means, anyways, before we get into that paradox loop, we're back to the ban save cycle.
Indeed, the next map that is going to be banned, going to be Junkertown, meaning that they're one less escort map in this cycle here, meaning Dorado is going to be our only pick. We're going to see anything along the lines of just straight pushing the card.
So very interesting. Now we've seen from Citizens 2 different map bans coming out and cross 2 different types. It would be a bit of a pattern, for example, if they banned Oasis, then went after the one remaining control map, Ilios. However, they have instead gone after Junkertown. This suggests that they have very specifically maps that they do not want to play, or rather maps that they want to try and trick BMC into picking, since after banning Oasis, we went to Lijiang Tower, and, well, ladies and gentlemen, we can all remember how that went.
Yeah, I think that the performance speaks for itself in a way there, but I don't want to shut you down, but there is always the case of, we just don't want to play Junk today. We just don't want to play Oasis today, but Junkertown, I don't know, it's a very situational map for me. I definitely got to be feeling a certain way to be about it. Oasis, I have a neutral attitude towards Oasis in general. But the next map, in fact, going to be Eichenwald, I like it. I like Eichenwald. Again, one of those maps where you have a little bit of a mixture of what you can see there. You know, in that third point, the Zarya Ryan is very strong.
Yeah.
Second point, high ground has so much potential for hit scan and the divier characters. And then first point, you have that bunker setup that you can set up in the Point Tavern, as I call it. I don't actually know what the building is, but you could definitely set up a Bastion, Orisa, Junkrat, Baptiste style comp there if you're so inclined. Or you can go far. You can take to the skies and go pharmacy style with it. A lot of potential here.
Now, a very interesting situation, Citizens deciding to save the Lucio. So as much fun as they seem to have on Lijiang Tower, playing some very fun compositions, they are in fact going to grab that Brazilian DJ / skater / revolutionary. They're making sure that they have that speedy little monster ready to bring their team to the forefront. However, if BMC does want to prevent... Oh, Widow ban!
Ooh.
Fascinating.
Interesting. I'm curious if that's because of the rather strong showing we saw come through on Night Market from Citizens, or if that's just perhaps BMC not showing their hand as much. Because Widow can have a little bit of potency, you know, on a few points in Eichenwald, but I would say it's not necessarily her most comfortable map. I'd say that Ilios Ruins, something along those lines, with long sightlines and not as many high buildings, a little bit more friendly. Temple of Anubis, also a very valid one. So I think I'm curious as to why the Widow ban going to be coming through here. Maybe they just didn't want to show anything, as I mentioned.
Yeah, and, you know, that's not necessarily a bad idea. Look, as a tank / support player, the one DPS that I actually am kind of relatively decent at is Widowmaker. And the Widow duels of old are just like, you know, that's what you sit your kids on the lap and by the fireplace and tell them about. Back in my day in the aughts and the tens of 2000, we had Widow duels and we liked it. Instead, though, we're going to be seeing absolutely no Widowmaker whatsoever. Instead, we're going to be going right to Eichenwald, and there's going to probably be a May involved. We've seen, you know, Blurry's Money Crew has shown a very, very happy willingness to play the May, so I think we might be seeing that again. I don't know, though. They're not on defense, so we're going to have to wait.
Yeah, there have been two maps that we've started, both maps, Hanamura and Lijiang, that we saw. If I remember right, it may have been McConquer or Gotham on that May. Certainly they seem to like manipulating the map a little bit, having their kind of control over it, and that's a very valid play style. I just think it's a very disciplined play style that, you know, it doesn't work well against certain comps. A lot of high mobility comps that can just kind of mitigate that ice wall or mitigate the cold freeze, not as impacted as, you know, something like a more ground pound style might.
Speaking of Lucio, we're definitely going to be seeing that come out. Ooh, the deaths! We haven't seen the deaths in ages, so there it is. A Reinhardt, Roadhog, Lucio, and Baptiste have both been thrown off the map. However, very telling, let's keep it a surprise for everyone. Zarya and Ana running straight to the point, and instead it is actually still going to be Reinhardt, D.Va coming back out on purple, Neon grabbing the Brigitte. So, a very nice Lucio-enabled 3-3, as we like to say. Meanwhile, however, I am loving what could potentially be coming out from Blurry. I am so ready to be disappointed, however.
Yeah, and this is interesting.
Yes!
The Pharah pick is going to be very weak to the Ana, but aside from that, there's not a lot to really kind of counteract from the side of Citizens.
but now with no Pharah or Widowmaker to make McConquer sad about his rockets, this is it. But they're on it. Wow! Holy moly, Rack Attack immediately lights into McConquer, forcing them out of the sky. But the rotation is real, and Citizens have to abandon the point to get out of the reach of this damage coming in from Blurry's, which is huge!
Yeah, I really like the way Blurry's playing this right now. They're using the Hammond to kind of bully people, and if they're not in the area where McConquer can shoot them, it's Sokotoa going to try to make it so. And right now, we're already seeing some progress coming through the Blurries.
A tick is a tick, and 43% is nothing to laugh at, but Sokotoa is going to be the first one to fall. Default has just so much blanking energy to work with. It's, you know, the mark of a true Zarya. They have that 80 plus immediately after those two barriers. The damage is real, and they know where to prevent it. So with a tick, though, and a bit, that's going to be progress that Blurries can be proud of with a minute in. But abilities going down, maybe less proud.
Yeah, and McConquer surprisingly only just now getting the Rocket Barrage online. I think we could see that Pharah build ult just a little bit faster, but they're going to be committing ults already.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. Default throws out a very early, well, relatively early grab, I should say. Marcy76 grabs the Valkyrie to help. McConquer throws out the barrage. No kills, though. Barriers comes in, and McConquer dies for the audacity of barraging against Citizens, apparently, as Salieri grabs not only the Pharah, but also the Soldier.
Yeah, and worth noting, abilities getting some value hacks onto Salieri, but they just don't seem to be followed up on. That Rhine without a shield is almost as valuable an ult battery as a Roadhog is, but still, we don't see Salieri dropping a whole lot in this situation, and you think that with this many DPS, they should definitely be able to close on that.
Yeah, Rack Attack especially demonstrating that the Ana rifle definitely does damage instead of the healing. Abilities goes down, no EMP for this fight, so I have a feeling Blurries are going to be wanting to get out of there before they sustain any more feed. And yeah, Neon even going to grab Delete Brig before it goes. Poor Hammond. He does look like he's going to be able to get out of there thanks to those shields.
Yeah, getting kind of bullied by the number of tanks here. With a big Earth Shatter.
That's rough. And yeah, it's the kills for Citizens for days. Minute and a half left for Blurries, though, so they do have a chance to come back here. They are building up quite the ult bank, and right now, Citizens have nothing. So this is the moment to shine. If they can get out before Rack Attack builds that... Ooh! Very early! Here we go. Oh, no, but abilities goes down so quickly.
Yeah, and that was good identification from Rack Attack to get that anti-nade onto Gotham as the Genji Blade comes out, meaning that Marshy not going to be able to help out the Genji, and no Nano going to be reducing any damage.
Yeah, that is unfortunate for abilities. The EMP rather coming out does not catch the required heroes needed to make that ult combination a success. So now it's McConquer's Barrage, Sokotoa getting early slept. He's gonna live though. Marcy76 also has the Valkyrie ready to go. Galtman actually switching on to a Doomfist to make the most of this push. Shatter goes out though, grabs Delete Brig and abilities. The Barrage just come in, gets Salier before they can do more damage, and abilities does go down, but now it's an even 5-5, and no main tank is a huge advantage.
Yeah, the kill's starting to go a little bit in favor of Blurry's Money Crew, and that's going to be a very good thing. We're seeing swaps come through, Salieri switching onto this Hammond just to get to point a little bit faster, but it is being dragged out onto the point to just get any progress from BFC.
Yeah, Purple getting DMA'd, also Resurgent Purple's death. Salieri actually is going to grab Delete Brig, and the rest does not go in. McConquer finds Rack Attack, but not before Galtman dies. What should have been a very winnable fight from Blurry's Money Crew is actually a losable fight, and instead there's no one on the point, and so the map just simply ends.
Yeah, that was kind of, the fight started off with a bang, but ended with a whimper in that situation. It really came down to that Zarya grab that held, I believe it was 2 or 3 members of Blurry's Money Crew off the point, not letting them get that progress, not even letting them prolong the fight. And that's such a shame because they were at least looking like they were ahead or at least even in kills for a good while there, for I want to say about 5 to 10 seconds. But it just does not seem that Citizens wants to give up any progress after they realize they gave up that first tick.
Yeah, and the way series go, I think what has just happened is a victory, possibly for Citizens. They have a third to go on Eichenwald. They already have 2 wins, 2 maps in the bank. So if they can pull off in a 4-minute time slot a single tick, and no, that's right, about 45%, they will win. However, if the full hold comes out from Blurry's, they will actually take the map because they did manage to take a tick plus, which means this is not a lost cause.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's worth noting that citizens have not been impenetrable this entire time. We've seen a couple of instances where perhaps things like ult management could have been utilized better, earth shattering just for one Hammond, sending the Diva Bomb in after that Hammond got earth shattered. The earth shatter fine, you can maybe justify it. You want to set the stagger out and you're feeling confident. But the Diva getting the Diva Bomb just to zone out of spawn for a little bit, that's a little bit more questionable. So I think that there's definitely some potential for Blurries to put up a very good fight if they can recognize these flaws in citizens.
Yep, and that is going to be the clutch win condition for pulling out this victory. However, it is, again, a very damage-centric comp coming out from Citizens. Neon even bringing out the Doomfist early, which means that they are definitely confident in their ability to grab those kills. Purple finding the little bit of that backline action. This is a very mobile split comp, the one healer and no tanks. Sometimes it's very common to see the Hammond with this particular situation, and there is no tank hero at all from Citizens.
Yeah, it's going to be very hard to really focus down a hero on the side of Citizens, and Sally are going to take out Sokotoa.
Yeah, but Neon is getting immediately countered, but Delete with Salieri is bringing the huge damage. That's a 3k default D-Mex Delete Brig. That's a lot of Ds there. They are going to die. Abilities gets a little bit of that balance, rebalance, so to speak. They, of course, get immediately res, and that's a team fight. That's a win, and Citizens has done it once again with literally no tanks. So much damage. And that's just it. 3-zip.
Yeah, that Hanzo play from Salieri looking very good. I believe in the kill feed we saw 3 or 4 kills coming through for the Archer himself. But, of course, the play of the game going to be from the Reinhardt played by Salieri. But,
Oh, jeez.
yeah, this nano boost, okay, kind of justifiable, but Sokotoa being stuck so far out, and then I believe that was when we saw the Earth Shatter come in. That was a little questionable to me. I don't think Citizens are going to be too bothered by it. They did walk away with the win. So pretty much all that's left to wrap this little exchange in a big, nice old bow is just to get somebody from Citizens in here and talk with them, see how they feel about that after that rather quick session.
Yeah, I, again, also remember to vote in that Twitch MVP pool, as it has been very exciting, and I'm sure there's lots of players that everyone wants to talk about, but that is going to be it. The match is done. Citizens has won it. We're going to be having a lovely little post-game interview for you. We're going to be bringing out Camboyo, whom we saw play a variety of roles, and we're just happy to have them here. Cam, and there it is. There's that lovely disc, Kapwing. And wham bam, thank you ma'am. Camboyo has joined us. Camboyo, congratulations on the first game of the Overwatch Watchers Brawl and securing the first victory.
Why, thank you.
So, we have been waxing somewhat eloquently, mostly ineloquently, about the compositions that have been coming out at the moment, and we have noticed, quite delightedly, that Citizens favors playing DPS heroes, and we super like that. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, well, basically when it comes to DPS, it's pretty hard to prepare against playing DPS comps when you have such good DPS players, because you can hide all you want, but also we'll just poke you down, and then we'll be able to frag. So yeah, that's really our thinking behind it.
So we've seen a lot of good play coming out, and you have been on a bit of those support roles. So in terms of heroes, we know there's the role in the team, and then the heroes you actually like to play. So Camboyo, who are your favorite heroes, and why do you like playing them?
Well, number one, definitely Lucio. I just enjoy his movement mechanics so much. Number two would probably have to be a Roadhog. Unfortunately, the character is quite garbage at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are the big two. I also like to Reaper, but just as the game has changed, I don't really think it's that fun anymore. It's just too hard to get value out of it.
I definitely agree with that particular statement. Reaper, despite the major buffs that have come in, it's so we're still not seeing the play, and he doesn't fit with a lot of good comps. So with Citizens taking the first win for their tournament and the first game in the Overwatch Watchers Brawl against Blurries, so now we're going to be going into the or rather the rest of the tournament. You might see Blurries again, and given that the meta is always ever changing, and once stuff hit comp, it becomes the Overwatch Watchers Brawl. What change would you like to see to the game if you could make one?
I think it's a really weird spot right now in the game, just because of the power trip. I feel like balancing like the actual game in terms of like nerfs and buffs aren't really the way to go. I think they really need to implement like gaming mechanic more like a lock in the game. Other than that, just if they really just want to kill goats, just quick and easy, just they have to nerf Lucio. I love Lucio so much, but as long as Lucio is good or Diva, goats will still stand.
Yeah, that's pretty much the long and short of it too. And they even knocked Lucio's speed buff down, and we're still pretty much seeing him as the guaranteed pick. Speaking of which, when Lucio was banned, and honestly, I don't think anyone really expected that, since the ban goes in for both sides. No one gets that Speedy Gonzalez. So in the instance that Lucio is banned, what goes through your brain?
Well, conveniently, it was on Legion Tower, which we do a lot of quad, which doesn't require Lucio, so we didn't really have to worry about that. But the number one problem with playing any Ghost composition and not having Lucio is that you need to be playing in a defensive way, where you already have something set up. So, like, for example, they tried to play Ana Zen and tried to get a point in time, but we were playing quad. There was no way they were going to get a point in time to be set up. They were just completely open while they tried to run there. So, yeah.
Yeah, spooky situation on Lijiang Tower Control, where, yeah, it was pretty much done deal. The Orisa the Bastion, it got set up on the high ground, and wham bam, thank you ma'am, that was done. Bit of a repeat, but there we go. So thank you, Kimboyo, for joining us, and I wish you the best of luck as you continue through the tournament.
Thank you for having me.
So, whilst that has been Citizens and Blurry's 3-0 from Citizens, a very strong showing. Have a feeling we're going to be seeing them again in the tournament, pulling off some pretty crazy stuff.
Yeah, from the performance we've been seeing, it definitely seems like they're going to be one of the higher contenders here. I haven't particularly dug into any of the stats yet, but I mean, if this performance is of any indicator, I think that they're looking very good so far. Definitely looking forward to seeing what both of these teams can kind of put forward and if they're going to be growing at all during this tournament.
Yep, and as a reminder, this is not the last we've seen of Blurry's Money crew. They have only been knocked down to the lower bracket, where they will continue to fight for that glorious prize at the end of the tunnel, so to speak, in Overwatch Watchers Brawl Season 5. However, we're going to be taking a break. We're going to be back at 9 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and we'll be happy to have you there once again. As always, it's been 3.007. Grab me on Twitch or Twitter at 3.007.
Oh, Threep.
Uh-oh. Come on, Wolf, you're the one who always does it! I'm relying on you. You're the better half of this situation. You gotta hook me up.
Well, I'll go ahead and do that right now. Before we let you go, folks, don't want to let you guys off the hook without hearing who the viewers MVP for this match has been. And so far, we talked about this player quite a bit. It looks like Salieri is going to be the viewers MVP for this game this evening. So congratulations, Salieri. As well, congratulations, Citizens, as well as Blurry's Money Crew for participating in this game tonight. And we look forward to seeing you guys perform in the next couple of days and weeks.
There it is. There's that. That's the MVP call-out. We all love it. Congratulations to Salieri. We're still signing off, though, unfortunately, so you don't, or rather, you get to stop listening to our dulcet tones.
Indeed, and for your casting pleasure, I have been Sir Waltham. You can catch me on Twitter, Sir Waltham Gaming, or Twitch, Sir Waltham.
Thank you very much for tuning in, and we'll see you back at 9 p.m. Eastern Daylight.
Take care, everybody.